Hey, my YouTube family and friends. Let's talk about our missing boys, Orrin and Orson West, birth name Cincere and Classic. Orrin and Orson Cincere Classic went missing, were reported missing on December the 21st of 2020 from their California home on Aspen Avenue. And what I want to touch on today are the facts that we have in the case. There's about 25 to 30 facts that I want to get out there. I've written them down, bullet points and all, and I'm going to show that to you guys. And I've got a live tomorrow with KitKat. I'm going to try to link my channel with that, but if it does not work, if you guys pay attention to my community page, I did post her channel link on the community page, so hopefully that'll work for you guys if you don't see it on my page. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and cover the facts. And I'll say, let me get this out there real quick. There's right now, within the past, I'd say 24 hours, I've seen so many, they're freaking out about, oh, well, Trezell and Jacqueline, they're not suspects is what's being reported. Well, yeah, that's been what's been reported this entire time. As you guys may remember, Chief Walker plainly said that there are no suspects, so that would eliminate Jacqueline and Trezell as well. So I'm not certain why the uproar, in the past 24 hours, why some are saying, oh, they're not suspects. Well, I thought we all knew that because, again, Chief Walker has stated that there are no suspects, or at least that's what they're telling us, but it could simply be a tactic. I've seen other cases where the chief has stated there's no suspect, or, law enforcement stated there's no suspects when in fact they were close to actually making an arrest. So we really don't know if that's a tactic or not. But again, it has been said for quite a while that there are no suspects, but it's for some reason just people are making a big deal out of it the past 24 hours or less. And then also, let me touch base real quick on the neighbor's footage. I don't have it as fact because it's not fact in my opinion, as far as seeing 4 children get in the van and none getting out on the 19th when the other 4 were dropped off at grandma's. I cannot see that video clear enough, and I've messed with the colors, brightness, saturation to lighten the video. I've slowed the video down, just slow motion, and I can't say that they weren't carrying the 2 boys. They're in the van, on the way to the van, in the van, or back out of the van. It's just not clear enough to say who got in the van, how many, and who all got out of the van, and if they were carrying, bags, children, who knows? So again, that's not going to be in the fact, but I wanted to get my opinion out there on that, and I've really tried my best. I've spent probably 2 hours going through the footage to mess with the colors, and then this is the last thing, and then we'll move on to the facts. What I have here on the screen, Walker says December 19th was the last day the other 4 children say that they saw Orrin and Orson, and I have so many questions about that, but probably won't be answered. But that's, who knows, being a child and being able to keep up with the dates. But maybe they did say, yeah, they were with us when we were dropped off at grandma's. Maybe, I just don't want to say too much about that. I want to know primarily, my main question, other than family members, when is the last time someone has seen these boys other than family members? That's what I would love to know. But let's move on in the facts. And the reason I'm going to bring this here up, this is what the West extended family posted online on the Medium page when they released their statement. And it should be noted that the 2 brothers are the youngest of 4 adopted siblings. So that means the other 4 children, remember Chief Walker said 2 were foster. And I was kind of questioning that because in the interview Trezell and Jacqueline did, whenever a bystander had said your foster parents, they know were adopted parents. So I would think if they were foster, they would have just not put in adopted parents, which I know Orrin and Orson are the 2 adopted for sure. That's confirmed. But it's still up in the air on if the other 2 are foster, like Chief Walker's saying, because the West extended family, you see them say right here, go to the medium statement that they made. They're saying that the other 2 that Chief Walker's saying are foster, that they're actually adopted. But now let's move on to the 25-30 facts that I have. We have Orrin and Orson West, classic and sincere birth names. They were reported missing December 21st, 2020 by their adoptive parents, Jacqueline and Trezell. Orson and Orrin's birth names are classic and sincere. The adoptive parents say in their interview they noticed the boys went missing around 5-ish. Now do note, they never answered the actual question being asked, what time did y'all call the police? The reporter, and I've played it in one of my videos, the reporter asked, what time did you notice the boys were missing? What time did you call the police? Trezell said 4:30, 4:45. Jacqueline interrupted and said 5-ish. And then when he asked again, when did you call the police? She said after we searched. And then she had her hand movements. So they never answered when they called the police, but it does line up with what they told police and what's on the neighbor's security footage. They say they searched about 15 to 20 minutes before calling. And if you guys paid attention in my last video, my assumption is they started searching when that back porch light came on. And that would be that 20-minute discrepancy that I see is still there. But nonetheless, you're not going to actually, more than likely, you're not going to look at the clock as soon as you find out your kids are missing. So that 15-20-minute discrepancy could easily be explained away. So again, it does seem like everything lines up as far as them reporting Orrin and Orson missing and what we've seen on that footage. All right, let's continue with the facts. Chief Walker says the call came in at 5:43 p.m. And again, it does line up with the neighbor's footage minus that 20 minutes. Trezell and Jacqueline have 4 other children, 2 adopted and 2 bio, and I explained why, the foster, we're not certain if maybe the chief made an error or really what's going on there, because the West extended family did say and confirm that the other 4 the other 2 boys were adopted. Chief Walker confirmed the other 4 children were at grandma's when Orrin and Orson were reported missing. 4 agencies were involved at the beginning, including the FBI. It's now down to 2 per Chief Walker. Neighbors' CCTV footage from 12/21 that afternoon does in fact show who appears to be Trezell in his backyard. No boys can be seen that I noticed, but we can see what appears to be their family dog. Trezell Jacqueline have a fenced-in backyard with a gate, and it appears, and this is just solely my opinion, I think it's a 6-foot privacy fence. And also note this, and I showed you guys in a previous video, and I'll show you again in a minute, but there's fences in all those neighboring backyards. So when Trezell took that left out of his driveway and took a right, that kind of baffles me, because I would think he would have went straight. The boys, of course, would have had to gone through the side front because of that fence all along. But 1633 to 1639 footage appears to be 1 hour off, so really it's 5:33 to 5:39. Trezell gets in the van and goes on his 6-minute search for the boys. And like I just told you, he took a right on that side road, even though he said boys couldn't have gotten that far. Well, then why did you even get in the van to search, Trezell? Why not walk the neighborhood, and where was Jacqueline? But nonetheless, Trezell and Jacqueline moved to California City from Bakersfield 3 months prior to Orson and Orrin going missing. They moved to California City September of 2020. Trezell and Jacqueline are currently staying in Bakersfield per Chief Walker's recent interview. Chief Walker confirmed other 4 children are in foster care and not with family members. Chief Walker confirmed Jacqueline, Trezell, and others were asked to take a polygraph, but he will not confirm if they complied or who the others are. Bio Mom says in her 12/22 interview that she feels the adoptive parents, Jacqueline and Trezell, did something to the boys. January 3rd of 2021, approximately 2 weeks after the boys were reported missing, the West extended family posted a statement online on Medium. January 11th, the extended family posted a second statement on Medium and offered a $30,000 reward for the boys' return. The reward is currently at $100,000. Foul play was confirmed by Chief Walker. Trezell and Jacqueline's backyard was excavated due to piles of dirt being back there, and to make certain that the boys weren't back there per the chief. Canines have been deployed multiple times. They were unable to pick up scent of the boys outdoors. So they picked up their scents indoors, which, again, so many questions about, but we can discuss that on tomorrow's live. But they could not pick up the scent of the boys outdoors. So that's very interesting. On 12/29, December 29th, Chief Walker said none of the neighbors have ever seen the children at the property. He later recanted and stated some of the neighbors have seen children, but they cannot confirm which children were seen. Trezell and Jacqueline said they searched 15 to 20 minutes before they called the police at 5:43, and again, this does line up with what I found. And we can discuss this tomorrow on the live as well if you guys want to go into more detail on it. 4 search warrants have been executed at the Aspen Avenue home, and possible 5th now if we're including that police presence that I noted at the Aspen Avenue house on the 25th of January. So Chief Walker had said, but I think that's up to 5 now. Bio Mom Ryan Dean confirmed Orrin's leg was fractured when she had custody. She says she was at work at the time that the fracture occurred, and I've not yet heard her say who was caring for Orrin, only that she was at work, and that's when the fracture happened. And I still see a lot of talk of people thinking that the fracture was a current fracture. It was not. This was when Orrin was a baby. This fracture occurred, and he was not in the adoptive parents' care at the time. Bio Granddad confirmed to me that the GoFundMe is to hire an attorney to go after Kern County and the adoptive parents for negligence. So it has nothing to do with what some are saying about, getting the boys back. Why are they doing this? Because the boys are missing still. Well, it's got nothing to do with that. It has to do with suing Kern County and the West for negligence is what the bio grandfather, Ryan Dean's father, told me. On January 22nd, and I think a while ago I said 25th, that's when, and so that would have been the 22nd when the large, or the police presence was at the Aspen Avenue home of Trezell and Jacqueline, when I mentioned that 5th warrant, possibly because the chief confirmed the 4. I'm sorry, not the 25th, but it was the 22nd. Large police presence at the Aspen Avenue home where the boys were reported missing. January 25th, prayer vigil held for Orrin and Orson Classic and Cincere near the Aspen Avenue home, and the police chief also released a statement notice to stay off the Aspen Avenue property. Electronics and phones were taken during the first search, and we do know the chief said that they do have their phones back now, so that's a fact that I did not include on here. And also, if you remember, Jacqueline said she could not provide current pictures because they had her phone. Well, I still have not seen current photos, but yet the chief said they do have their phones back, so I would take that as a fact that she has not provided current photos. We do know that bags of evidence were removed from the first search. We did see photos of law enforcement carrying big bags, and the police chief did confirm it was evidence. Trezell and Jacqueline have been called in and questioned several times. They have been cooperating per Chief Walker. Chief Walker confirmed they have several neighbors' CCTV footage. The Aspen Avenue home where Orson and Orrin were reported missing was boarded at Trezell's discretion. There are no named suspects, and I mentioned that at the beginning. A lot of people are freaking out within the past 24 hours saying, oh, they said that Jacqueline and Trezell are not suspects. They've never been suspects to my knowledge. The chief made that very clear. There are no suspects as of yet, but again, it could be a tactic. We just do not know. We only know what the chief is saying. And searches are and have been conducted in Bakersfield. Several YouTube creators are out in that area. They're live streaming, searching, and thank you guys for that. So these are the 25 to 30 facts that we know on the boys missing Orrin and Orson West. If you guys have more you would like me to add to it, put it in the comments, and then I'll pin all of them underneath this video. But I hope to see most of you, or actually all of you guys, on the live tomorrow, 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, and I'm going to try to get it on my channel as well. But on my community page, there's a link to KitKat's channel. There's a couple of different creators that will be on the live. Me, KitKat, Crime Curious, Colorado, High Priestess Angelique. So I'm sure it's going to be a good one. Several cases will be discussed. Vallow Daybell. I think there's going to be a little bit of a Chris Watts discussion. I'm not sure how in depth. And of course, our missing boys, Orrin and Orson West, Cincere and Classic. And then we'll discuss Letitia Stout. So just different cases that we'll have the discussion on the live tomorrow. So I hope to see you guys there. And thank you guys for watching.